Thank you. We appreciate the time you made for us. All of you here are extremely generous with time we know you don't have. In the name of offering insight we all need. No one is more generous than the man you will hear from very, very soon. My name is Adrienne Arsenault of CBC's National. I'm the chief correspondent for the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. I'm proud to be in the cohort of journalists who reported from Ukraine over this past year. And you've heard this point made before, but let's make it again. Many, many months ago, some people looked around the world at what they could see and what they could count, and they made a bit of a presumption. They looked at military budgets and the number of soldiers and equipment and presumed that if Russia were to hypothetically continue its invasion of Ukraine, that its strength might have pushed Ukraine into a fighting retreat. But we all saw that that presumption evaporated on that February day, when Ukraine and Ukrainians did not retreat, they did not shrink. That presumption evaporated when President Volodymyr Zelensky made that call to get out of his suit and tie and put on the green and dig his boots into the sturdy streets of Kyiv and say, no, I'm not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere. He continues to make those bold choices. He continues to be consistently seen by Ukrainians, heard by the rest of the world as unwavering, as hopeful, as resilient. And it's clear he inspires his nation as much as they inspire him. He didn't want a ride that day, he famously said. He wanted ammunition. He still wants ammunition. The journalists here and the policymakers here, the journalists and policymakers here, we spend a lot of time looking at the dangers of disinformation around the world. We talk a lot about how anger is a major motivator for what gets shared online. What we don't talk often enough about, though, is how inspiration online is as much of an accelerator and motivator as anger. And if you ever doubted that, remember Volodymyr Zelensky. Look at how he has rallied the people of Ukraine and governments and citizens far from its borders. Look at how the world's attention has been captured, how urgently. That urgency is so necessary, and it's necessary right this minute. It is cold in Kyiv tonight. It's really cold. Russian missiles have struck the energy infrastructure, the natural gas, heat and light are scarce. There is a lot of work to be done. There are so many military and civilian needs that have yet to be fulfilled. The Ukrainians in this room, in this hotel, the Ukrainians working in this hotel, living here, know that all too well. But what is so very clear is that inspiration still flows. And it comes directly from a secure location in Kyiv. And this is where we find President Volodymyr Zelensky tonight.
Dear friends, maybe most of the discussions at this year's forum will address one question: how to end the Russian war. But I will ask you to formulate more precise question: how to restore real and just peace. Simply, the end of the war doesn't guarantee peace. Russia is now looking for a short truce, a respite to regain strength. Someone may call this the war's end, but such a respite will only worsen the situation. Any voiced ideas of our land's concessions or of our sovereignty cannot be called peace. Immoral compromises will lead to new blood. A truly real, long-lasting and honest peace can only be the result of the complete demolition of Russian aggression. There are 10 items in the Ukrainian peace formula. These are challenges which should be overcome for the sake of security of Ukraine, Europe, and the world. This is peace formula for the world. Ukraine proposed precisely such a peace formula. I presented it to the UN General Assembly and the G20 summit, and I'm asking you to help us implement this formula. This is the only way to the real peace. First item is radiation and nuclear safety. The second one is food security. The third is energy security. The fourth is the release of all war prisoners and deportees. The fifth is the implementation of the UN Charter and the restoration of our territorial integrity and world order. The sixth is the pull-out of Russian troops and the end of hostilities. The seventh is the restoration of justice, namely the tribunal of those guilty of aggression crime and damages compensation. The eighth is countering ecocide. Ninth are the security guarantees for Ukraine to prevent escalation. And the 10th is the confirmation of the war's end. What is the goal of such approach? We emphasize on all of the elements of Russian aggression and offer our partners to demolish all aspects of aggression together with us in order to provide security. That is something where each of our partners can show their leadership. We have already succeeded in some things. For example, we extended the grain export initiative and offer a new humanitarian initiative, grain from Ukraine, to enhance of food security. In the same way, we can go step by step in other items of our peace formula. I suggest you, dear forum participants, to choose the possible leadership options for your countries. Each item of our peace formula had the proposals for particular solutions. Please choose which item you can help with. I believe that Canada, which strongly supports us, will also choose one of the peace formula items for itself and will show all the strengths of its leadership. I assure you that peace is possible, but for it to exist, we must make impossible Russian aggression, all of its elements. Let it happen. Let there be peace. Glory to Ukraine.
Well, that was a list. I hope everyone was taking notes there. I do believe the vernacular is those are the marching orders from President Volodymyr Zelensky. We had hoped that this would have been a live presentation from him. I know you can all appreciate that due to what is happening there. He is moving around a lot. He's in a secure location, and we're grateful to have had what we had. So we are going to continue with the program. We know you like videos, so here's another one. Let's begin the session.